Hi, and welcome to another Top 10 with Pedro, and I'm Jason. What are we doing today, Pedro?
We're going to be doing our top 10 two-player games.
Top 10 two-players. And
yes, sir.
Lately, we've been stuck playing some two-player games because I'll text everybody some large economic game and nobody shows up, right?
Yeah, it's some hardcore, intense Euro games. Like, oh, I can't make it tonight.
And Dylan's like, I gotta feed my cat and shampoo my hair. I'm like, is this because we picked through the ages this week? Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Classic Dylan. So, Dylan, if you're watching this, we know your tricks. So, we'll do two-player games. Who do you usually play two-player with?
Another player? Duh.
Someone other than me?
I play two-player games with you. Just if I just meet somebody and I'm like, hey, you want to play a game? Usually.
So as soon as you meet somebody, you go, do you want to play a game? It's two-player and I need you, man. Yes. I need you.
I am that straightforward.
So my two-player games is mostly with my wife. If kids go to bed and I can talk into a game, it's going to be two-player. It'll be just us. I play the heavier two-player games with you. Mm-hmm. And then I got a friend named Scott. Every year we play some games, two-player, and Dylan sometimes. So it's rare that I get two-player games, but I would say 80% of my two-player games are with my wife. So that might skew my list a little bit.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's what I'm getting at. What about some honorable mentions?
Some honorable mentions.
Well, before we jump in that, let's do one thing.
Okay.
How did you choose your list? Like, are these strictly two-player, or just games that play best two-player, or any game that played two-player?
They're all two-player games, except for one of them could be played four-player, but it's really two-player, like that kind of game.
Okay.
But other than that, they're all strictly, they start off as two-player games.
All of mine are two-player games. I added 2 games to the list I would only ever play two-player. And these games, in my head, in my collection, I think of them as two-player. If I have 3, 4, I would never bring them out. Only two-player. So to me, they are two-player games. I'll talk about that when I get to them. But for the rest of it, they're all two-player games exclusive. So what are some honorable mentions that you have?
Some honorable mentions that I have is Through the Ages, which is, I guess, can you call that a two-player game?
Wow, yeah. I mean, it does have different rules for 2 players. It's a 2 to 4 game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I wouldn't play it with more than 2, personally.
If that was on a 2-player list, I likely would have included it.
So that maybe, and then my other one is...
Let me say that. The reason why I didn't include Through the Ages,
okay,
you have to change the rules to play 2 players. You take the packs out of it. So the full game, there's a little bit out of it for 2-player, and that's kind of why I kept it off. Okay. Even though I'm with you, I would only play it 2-player.
Yeah.
Likely, maybe 3.
So that and Twilight Struggle. And the reason Twilight Struggle, I know it's really popular with a lot of people, but I've only played it once. So I haven't
How'd
really
you do in that game, by the way? Who'd you play? Some good-looking guy, I'm pretty sure. Gorgeous man.
Yes, he was a gorgeous man, and he definitely rocked my world at this game.
Yeah, he did. Rocked your world. I like that.
So I have to play the game more than once to see if I even liked it. So the first game was just kind of more of a, okay, this is an interesting.
Maybe we'll
game.
do one of those for our reviews. It's a fantastic two-player game.
It's a cool working game, but it's not on my list. So
anything else?
That's it for honorable mentions. I mean, there's stuff like Jambo was on my short list, but it didn't make it on there, and I think that's it. I think those are my honorable.
Here's my honorable mentions. Games I play with my wife: Lost Cities and Jambo. My wife probably likes them a little bit more than I do, but I like those, and those are classic 2-player kind of card games. I've got Agricola, Creatures Big and Small, which I love 2-player for that time, but I put another game on the list that I felt like was too samey. But if you want to play Agricola in 30 minutes, there you go.
Okay.
The Mr. Jack series, which included Family Opera, which we did.
I see. Okay.
That barely just missed out. I do want to mention a couple more. Brave Rats is a great 2-player game that plays in about 3 to 5 minutes. Not enough there to make my list, but that's a game I'll keep my collection for that. And then Le Havre Inland Port and Medici versus Strozzi. Great 2-player games. You want a market game for 2-player? Medici versus Strozzi and Le Havre Inland Port's a really cool 2-player game. So those. All right, number 10, 2-player game. What do you got, Pedro?
For my number 10, I have Plaid Hat's Summoner Wars.
Oh, wow.
And this game, it's a very fun game. I first played it actually at the first Dice Tower con. And
Dice Tower number 1 or the first one you went to?
Dice Tower number 1.
In Kissimmee.
Yes, when it was there. Huh. And it was really small. And it was actually Tom Vassel's copy, which was pretty funny. Because at that time, he brought his whole collection.
I'm not sure his name can be spoken here.
Oh, I'll cover my mouth. But anyway, the game's really fun. It's pretty much a game where you have a deck of cards that represents your army, and you have one card or you are a summoner of these creatures and spells, and so pretty much you have a character on the board that's you, and you have to just get destroy the other person's summoner. And so it's kind of like chess in a sense, where you're playing units on a grid, and then you can move them and do certain things, and it plays really, really well. It uses dice in a way that I think is really, really fun, and I really enjoy it. I bought the app version of it.
That's the only version I played.
Which is a very cool app, so it makes it way better because you don't have to worry about the shuffling, you don't have to worry.
Now, would you just get rid of the game and keep the app?
I would only keep the app because it's just so much cleaner. It's just so much cleaner that way.
I got a couple games like that where I'd just rather just play.
Yeah, but that's my number 10.
Number 10. My number 10 is going to be Famiglia.
Familia.
Nope, I think it's pronounced Famiglia.
But if you're Italian, you say familia.
Which I'm not. And apparently you're not either. So, for the rest of it, it's Famiglia. I love this game. My wife and I took it on a cruise. And this was like our little put in a pocket game and played. And we played the heck out of it in the room. Just, the night before we went to bed. Just throwing some things down before we went to sleep. And it was just fun. It's the more you play it, the better you get at it. And it's a really neat card game. And it's a set collection. Some of the cards have powers, some don't, some worth victory points, etc. It's a really fun 2-player game. Yeah. And I thought it might be something that wouldn't normally make somebody's list, so it might be something that could get a little bit of spotlight on it. I think that game is worthy of that.
I really like how it escalates slowly, because you only start off, with the ones, and then it just kind of builds.
Yeah.
It's a very cool game.
Because you have to give up 2 1s to get a 2, 2 2s to get a 3.
Yes.
And it can be tricky sometimes, and you go through the deck 3 times, so it's a fun game.
Yes.
Okay, number 9.
Number 9. This is my only trading card game, I guess, or LCG on my list, technically. And that is A Game of Thrones, the card game.
Really?
Yes.
Who did you play this with?
Back in the day, I used to play this game a lot with a friend of mine when we first started gaming.
Whenever he says back in the day, you mean pre-me. That's how Pedro looks at his life. It's pre-Jason and post-Jason.
Pre-Jason, so PJ.
Okay.
And I bought a copy.
BJ before Jason.
Before Jason.
BJ and PJ.
Oh goodness. But I bought the core game when I was like, Game of Thrones. I don't know what this is.
This is version 1 then, because the new ones came out.
Okay, so there was like a trading card version of it, and then they came out with the LCG, and then the second edition just came out.
Right.
So I had it when they turned it into the living card version. So I bought that. I played it with my friend, and I was like, this is stinking amazing. That was the game that actually led me to read the books of Game of Thrones. And then
there's books? I've seen the show. There's books?
Yes, there's books, believe it or not.
Based off the show.
Sure, if that's what you want to believe. But this game is so incredibly fun. It feels like the Game of Thrones world, where if I'm playing House Lannister, I have all the characters. I can have all those characters in my deck, and then the way the game plays and the way the characters plays is really interesting, because they're not just attack cards. There are cards that give you points to win the game, or cards that can do stuff to the other player's hand, and it's very, very interesting, very, very fun. I stopped playing the game because I try not to get into like collectible card game stuff, because it's a money sink, and I have to be good with my money. Luckily, I don't play it at a tournament level, so I still have some cards that I have just around.
I have some of the cards too.
Okay,
I got too many cards.
So it's a fun game. But yeah, Game of Thrones.
So my number 9 is Memoir 44. I guess you could put Battle Lore, you could put the Gettysburg one, Battle Cry, a lot of these in there. I just know Memoir 44, I think, because the World War II attracts me a little bit more, although I have a lot of the Battle Lore stuff.
Is that considered, what did you say, Command Colors?
Yeah, I think you say that, yeah.
Okay.
It's a system. I like the Memoir 44. I think I have everything for it. Not that I've played everything for it, but it's a really neat introductory war game. It's probably about as deep as I want to go into war games, both war and war games. But I enjoy it a lot, and I can get a lot of people to play because it's so simple. I've never played the Overlord that people talk about.
That looks like really fun.
It does. I have to try it sometime. Maybe it's like a con thing for me that I'll try it out.
Okay.
But Memoir 44 be my number 9. We'd like to say hello to our one Argentinian listener.
Hola.
You know more Spanish than that.
I do know more Spanish. Hola desde Florida. Nuestros amigos de Argentina. They probably just wrecked my Spanish. They're like, I don't like your Spanish.
Maybe they said you did a good job.
We'll see.
For the Argentinian guy, let him know. Number 8, what do you got?
For my number 8, I have Jaipur.
Ah.
Jaipur is a really interesting 2-player trading game where you're trading. The way you win is you have to win 2 out of 3 matches. And in the matches, what you're doing is you're trading in cards that are different goods that'll give you different points. And the earlier you can get the goods, the more points you get. And they go up in value depending if you're selling jewels as to, selling like clothes. But it's a very cool game. It plays very quickly. The mechanics are very simple, but there are very subtle strategies and ways that you can mess with people once you start playing it multiple times. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that aspect of the game.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So Jaipur.
I went through a period of time. Some people get hooked on drugs. I got hooked on the Cosmo 2-player line. All those games.
Is Jaipur a Cosmo line?
I don't think it is, but it's in my collection. It sits with them.
Yeah.
So I burned through a lot of those at one time, trying to figure out which ones I liked, which one I didn't.
Okay.
And so that one was one that stood out quite well for me. Number
Sweet.
8 for me is many consider a broken game. You already know where I'm going with this, right?
I think so.
A Few Acres of Snow.
Okay.
So I know how it's broken, but when I play people, I don't tell them, and I play the opposite side. And sometimes they figure it out, sometimes they don't. And
I think there was a rule. Was there a rule
They
fix?
changed it. They fixed it.
There was a rule fix or something.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I think the rule fix is you can't use that strategy.
I like the game. I like the use of the board. It's a little bit of a worry game. Is worry a word?
War-ish.
War-ish
maybe.
Game. But it's fun because it has some area control and it plays rather quickly. I like the deck building in it. A lot of different strategies in it. And I like A Few Acres of Snow quite a bit. Have you played this one?
Yeah, I played it with you, actually.
I thought you did.
Yeah, I like the game. I just need to play it again. I only played it once.
See, when we're not videoing the game, I usually beat you. But man, if it's on camera, I lose. There's nothing I can do.
I don't know. You're too worried about looking good on camera.
Yeah,
I'm just worried
it comes
about
natural. What are you gonna
Bam.
say? All right. Number 7. We're getting to the good games here.
Yeah, my number 7 is a small little card game that made a big splash. Star Realms.
Oh.
Star Realms by, I think, White Goblin Games. This game is the deck building game that is one of the smoothest playing games I've played for 2-player. That's a deck builder game. And I like this game way more as an app. So if you have the app of Star Realms, you should play it, because you distill this 20-minute, 15-minute game to a 5-minute game, which is so awesome because the decisions are pretty straightforward. But when you're playing like on an app with somebody else, asynchronously, it's really, 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 really.
It's a big word.
Yes. So hopefully you know what those words mean.
This is one of I don't. It's one of those games I played with Dylan, and I was like, really? This is the hot game? This is it? And that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just one of those things that if you were thinking about designing a hot game, you would not think about designing this game, I don't think. And it's weird sometimes, just in life, how certain things will just have a life of its own. I think Star Realms is like that. Like,
what didn't you like about it?
There's nothing I don't like about it. It's just short, easy.
Yeah.
Decisions are clear. It's fine. It's just, I mean, I remember when it first came out, maybe it still does. It came in like a $10 box. It was just like this little box of cards. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
You think of games with these great miniatures, and these adventures you go on, and these hard decisions and economic strong games, and it's like this little card game blows everybody's mind.
It is an awesome filler.
Well, my number 7 is Washington's War. It's a really good representation of what happened at the time, the taking of the generals, the prisoners. Very, very cool game. Most gamers have played Star Realms and not Washington's War. It's just weird to me because Washington's War is such a strong game and you hear nothing ever about it.
Is Washington's War a deck building game?
No, it's more like a CDC, a card-driven game.
Oh, okay.
So
it's more similar. Is it more similar to Memoir?
No, it's more similar to Twilight Struggle.
Oh, okay. This is like your third war game on your list.
It's weird.
I don't play war games, but all my...
I really don't.
But when it's a two-player
Washington's
game...
War, if you consider Twilight Struggle a war game, then sure.
A lot of people do.
Washington's War, I guess, is a war game in the fact that you're going against each other, but it is. But it's not your ASL type infantry taking hits and stuff.
Right.
It's more of an area control... But it's a war game. I mean, I'll concede that. Yeah, I mean, I can think of two-player when you're going head-to-head. It's so easy to have war. You know, the fighting of the two.
Yeah, that's like the purest form, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything in my list that is a resource management game that's a two-player.
and there are some, like the Greek creatures, big and small. Look at some on my list. So, my number 7 is Washington's War. All right, number 6. What do you have on your list?
Number 6 for me is a card game by Robert Burke called Draco Magi. It's a fairly new game. It's only been out for a few years, but it's a game that I kickstarted because I liked the art so much. The art was so good. And so I played this game, and it's a game that I really, really enjoy. It's got a dual aspect to it, where you have an area control game, but you also have this cool little battle thing that happens.
Is there dragons in it?
After that. No, it only has magi. Funny thing, right?
I don't know what magi is.
It's just people who do magic.
Oh, like wizards and warlocks?
Yeah, they're dragon wizards. And so you're a dragon wizard, and you summon all these dragons to defeat the other wizards' dragons. And so you're trying to conquer these lands, and by putting dragons down, and it plays really, really, really well. I really like it. It takes a little while to kind of get used to playing the game because it's a little...
I've heard of it.
It's a little funky, but I really enjoy it. I actually kickstarted the expansion because I like the first one so much. So, Draco Magi.
Never played it.
We should play it. I think you might like it.
It's a date?
It is a date.
Number 6, Claustrophobia. This game is wonderful for a two-player kind of skirmish board, descent, Space Hawk type of game. It is a wonderful. I just wish it had more stuff. I don't like how some of the miniatures have repeat and the cards.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's such a small school because the miniatures are so great and they're so pre-painted and fantastic and wonderful. This is a fun game. It's very scenario-based. You can go online. The publishers put out plenty of new scenarios you can go through. And this is a well-balanced, fun game with decisions to be made, which is interesting. So many of those type of mission-based dungeon crawl games, there's no decisions. You know what you're doing. You're going to blast some people. This one, you know, whether the split up can be very tricky. The fighting. This is have you played this one?
No, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I hear it's like a dungeon crawl that's designed well.
It is. There's 2 expansions out for it now. And I haven't got those tables, so we should do that. We actually should do a video on it.
Yeah,
it's a really good game. I mean, it's very solid. And it's one that I'll likely never get rid of, so... It's very fun. There's a really good storyline with it too. So that's Claustrophobia. Number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 is from a company, Level 99 Games. They produce this game called Pixel Tactics. You ever played Pixel Tactics?
No.
Oh man, this game is so incredibly fun.
I was afraid you were going to say Boss Monster.
Boss Monster. I don't think Boss Monster is Level 99 Games.
Okay. They're all
well, anyway, it's Level 99 Games has that thing where a lot of board game companies do, where they have they develop their own universe of characters and things. And so this one's from the War of Indians universe, where these characters in this make believe land that all somehow have to fight in a tournament, Mortal Kombat style. But in Pixel Tactics, kind of reminds me if you ever played Final Fantasy Tactics.
I think you're like Mortal Kombat style. You mean the ripoff of Mortal Kombat?
The what?
The ripoff of Mortal Kombat.
No. What do you mean the ripoff of Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat ripped off Street Fighter. Street Fighter came first.
But Mortal Kombat had a storyline that was like, hey, in order to save the world, you have to go through a tournament. You know, whatever that is. Which always cracks me up.
The game was based off the movie, right?
Exactly. But Pixel Tactics, have you ever played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Sure.
Okay. So it's kind of like that, where you just have a squad of units that all have different abilities, and depending on where you place them in your unit, they do different things, and all you're trying to do is get the leader down to 0 health, and you win.
It's like Summoner Wars.
So it's like Summoner Wars, except there's no aspect of movement, because all it is you just have your units, and then your Vanguard row goes, and then the other player's first row goes, and then your second row goes, and it just goes back and forth, and it just plays really well. It looks a little... It's got that thing where it's got like the 8-bit characters, that look like they're from Nintendo, but
they're not from Nintendo.
And the text looks really weird, so it doesn't look the prettiest, but it plays really, really well, and I really like it.
There's a part 1 and part 2, and they're like the same game, right?
There's a Pixel Tactics 1, and then there's actually 4 of them now.
Oh.
And
which one are you recommending for your 2?
Pixel Tactics 2 is the one I have.
Okay.
And played.
And that's
I have
your 5th favorite 2-player game?
Yes.
Okay.
The other ones add different mechanics that are added on from the first and second one, but I haven't played those. But I like the core games of Pixel Tactics. So.
My number 5 is a game you can play with more than 2 players, although I would never do it, and I don't recommend it. It's funny because most games, I think, tag on a 2-player game to it, and this one I think tagged on 3 and 4, just for time purposes, is Seasons. Seasons. It's a dice game.
Yeah.
We're playing these cards, and I've never played Magic, but I heard it plays a lot like that. Excuse me if that's wrong. I've never played it, so...
Okay.
The more familiar you are with the cards, the better you're going to do. There's some drafting at the beginning of it, so...
That's true.
You can get better at this game. There is some dice involved and dice usage involved, but it's a really cool game. I haven't played it in a while, and I want to get it to the table to play the expansion.
That's a fun game.
But this is a game I would only play 2-player. I think it plays better 2-player.
Yeah, it's shorter 2-player also.
Yeah.
It'd be way too long if you had 4. But I really like the game. I think it's like Magic because the cards synergize with each other.
I think so.
And so depending on what cards you draft will work a certain way.
And you want to go down a certain path with your cards, right? So
yes.
If I remember correctly, the reds, you want to go down the red path, and you don't want a bunch of like different colored ones. They'll work better together if you're in the same type. Or
yeah, it depends because you have creatures. You have cards that are creatures that do things, and then you have cards that are like spells or items that do others.
It's a very cool game, so try it out. It's really 2-player only, though. Alright, so you've been bragging about this number 4 game. It's supposed to be so fantastic.
It's really good. I don't know why I can't believe you haven't played it yet. But it's Omen, A Reign of War. This is my probably my favorite small box games from the different games they have. He also makes John Cloudis, who's the designer, also makes Hemlock and Byzantine and a bunch of other little card games. He's a card game guy.
Oh, that's the same guy. Hemlock, okay.
So this game is probably one of the coolest themed games, even though the theme isn't really there, but...
It's hard with cards.
Yeah, it's hard to do it with cards, even though I think some pull it off really well. But in this game, it's really fun because really what you're trying to do is the way you win is by making sure you end the game with the most points, and that is in your control. So the game doesn't end after a certain period of time. It ends when certain actions have been done and certain objectives have been completed. And then once that happens, the game ends, then you count the points. So you want to make sure that you are ahead in points before you end the game. Okay. And it's a cool little back and forth with the game. They just came out with a new revised edition because the old one had I think it had a card stack like this big. And because it was all these cards that they had released, and then they were duplicates of those cards because the way you played and you would do a drafting. But now they took out all those copies, reduced it, and made it really, really... They streamlined it. So, Omen is a really, really great game. It's a little weird to play at first, but once you get going, it's really fun.
My number 4 is another game you can play with more players, although I'd rather die than do it. Is Suburbia / Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
What, you're putting those in the same category? Are they even the same kind of game?
They're the same game.
Oh, okay. I've not played it. Yeah. I haven't played
One has a city theme and one has a castle theme. It's the same thing. The bidding, taking the tiles, they play off of each other.
Okay.
Castles of Mad Ludwig is probably streamlined a little bit better, but I have some component upgrades for the Suburbia that really help keep track. So the reason why Suburbia can get a little confusing is you might get a point for every restaurant built. Yeah, you got to really pay attention to who's building restaurants and make sure you get your points.
Okay.
But with the component upgrade, you can put a certain component on it, and it tells you when a restaurant is made. So it just makes it a little bit easier.
Okay.
And brings your attention, because all these tiles by the end of the game are all over, and you have to remember how they all score. But if you're playing with more than 2, it gets long, and you have to keep track of everything.
Oh, I see.
The app is cool as an effect. The app has a storyline.
Okay.
So you have certain missions you have to do, like get so much of this or accomplish this in so much amount of time. But it would really make a good app just to play the game, 2-player, and keep track of all the math for you.
So let me ask you this, because this design was an inspiration of SimCity, but now they put it back into like digital form. Does it feel like SimCity?
No.
No? Okay.
It's an abstract. SimCity 1 versus SimCity, whatever they're on now, like 8 or something, like it's so intense.
Yeah.
But no. I get what they're going for, and yes, in some streams it does, but you're not necessarily making a well-balanced city, necessarily. You're trying to score as many points as you can.
Okay.
And there's some rules that make it work, so. But but it's probably one of the best city building games I've ever played.
Okay.
So, off the top of my head, I would say this. So, some combination of Suburbia or Castles of Mad King Ludwig, depending on which theme attracts you more.
Okay.
And the Mad King Ludwig is a real guy who lived.
Oh yeah, I know about him.
It's a real interesting story. So.
Yes.
All right, number 3, Ron.
All right, number 3. This is a Serlin game called Yomi, and this game is probably a genius game design. I just like it for the pure design aspect of it. But the game, it's a Yomi, which is Japanese for reading, and it's a rock, paper, scissors game put into a card fighting like Mortal Kombat Street Fighter 2 style, which I really
Street Fighter
like.
2 / Mortal Kombat.
Sure, we'll do that if that makes you feel better.
The chronologically, I think it makes sense.
But pretty much it's just a beat 'em up game. You try to get the other guy down to 0 health and you win. But the way you do that is you play a card and then you hope that your attack will go through and hit him unless he blocks it. But if he blocks, then you can try and throw him if he's blocked. But then if he ends up attacking you when you're trying to throw him, then he hits you. So the fact that those things kind of happen and then the way the game plays where you can collect cards and power up and do stuff like that is really, really, really fun. It plays really fast, and then all the different characters play so differently, and I really, really enjoyed that. My only qualm with it is that the cost of these cards, of these decks of cards, is so high. So they just came out with a second edition of Yomi, and you can buy the whole thing for like an insane amount of money. But I just have like the starter 4 decks, and I play a lot of it online on the Sterling Games website. But it's really fun. You should check it out. But it's definitely a good game. You should check it out. Number 3.
It's one of those games I enjoy, but didn't have anybody to play with, especially at the time.
Yeah, that's hard with a lot of these games. If nobody wants to play that with you, then you just can't play.
Yomi's one of those games you get better at, so you can't go back and really play a new player with that. You need somebody who can keep up with you. LCGs are like that to me. Like Game of Thrones we talked about earlier. It's very hard. My number 3 is Fields of Arle, and this is why the Agricola Big and Small didn't make the list. This is, for all intents and purposes, Agricola Caverna for 2 players. I know those games play 2 players, but this is a game that's in the same vein. Very very heavy, very hard to teach, and very hard to learn. But once you have it down, it's a very, very good game. If you're going to play 2-player, I'd recommend this over either one of those 2 games. And it's specifically made for 2 players. And it's very deep and gives you a lot of hard decisions to make. And you play the summer and the winter, and it's very difficult. It's very hard to wrap your mind around. I think I tried to teach this to you one time, didn't I? Was that you?
No, it was not me. Else? No.
All my friends are the same to me. They're one person. So I can't distinguish between who you guys
I've heard this game just has so many decisions. It's kind of hard to choose.
It is, yeah.
What to do in the game.
And the more you play it, the better you're going to get at it. You're going to understand those decisions better. So that's Fields of Arle, my number 3. Number 2.
Number 2. Mage Wars.
Never played it.
Man, this game is so good. They took what I wanted Magic to be and made it so.
Like real Magic? Like David Copperfield or the game?
No, like Magic the Gathering. So Magic the Gathering, you know,
I pictured you going to see Penn and Teller versus David Copperfield and you wanted him to do this. That's what I was picturing. I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly it.
We need to clarify this.
So in Mage Wars, you play a wizard just like you do in Summoner Wars and just like you do in other games. But in this game, you actually have a board that you play in an arena. And so you play cards down and then you can summon creatures and get items. What's brilliant about this game is that you have a book, your spell book, and you have access to everything in your deck. So on your turn, you do a couple moves, and then at the end of your turn, you go into your spellbook, and then you pull out the cards that you want to play for your next turn. And it's just that simple. The dice combat is really fun, makes a lot of sense. The only thing, it's a little wordy as far as like, you know, a lot of effects and a lot of different words that you have to learn definitions to, and different cards, the way they interact with each other. It's a lot, but a lot of it is very intuitive. But man, this game is so much fun to play. There's actually a new game that's coming out that's similar to that kind of has that system on Kickstarter. That's by Sterling Games. But it kind of has that same feel. But I really like the fact that you can just play from your hand, and then pretty much it's whoever's the better player is going to win. You don't have to worry about the randomness of the cards. It's you come in with your gear, and hopefully you can beat the other person. So
the whole Nerdfest love with warlords and mages is lost on me.
It's the fantasy of being powerful.
To me, there's one warlord that rules them all, Dr. Bombay. If you get that reference, you're my kind of guy or gal. Dr. Bombay. It's just lost on me. The book, the dueling wizard things, the book, the steep learning curve, the book. The book is too much.
Really?
It's too much for me.
Yeah, but have you played it?
No, I haven't played it.
So you have to play it. When you play it, it just makes sense. You're like, oh, I think I want to do this. And you're like, oh, I can do that.
If Dr. Bombay is in the game, I'll play it.
Okay.
Can we
Apparently,
call him?
I don't get that joke. So
can we call him Dr. Bombay? I don't know. It's lost on me. Number 2, a great game. That might be a great game. I've never played this. It's hard for me to state. Twilight Struggle. This is a game I will pull out. You know this, we get 2 people. I'm always like, Twilight Struggle or my number 1, which will come up. Let's play one of those, and then I'll alienate everybody who wants to come over. This is a great 2-player game, and it is one you can get better at. I have to say I've yet to lose at this game. Not that I'm fantastic at it, but
you know the cards.
I actually don't. I played it barely. I played it maybe 5 to 10 times, but I really don't know the cards. And when I play, like, there's a Japanese card they can play that will take over Japan, and I was really good. I'm like, there's a card there that does this, true. Didn't I?
Yes.
Because I really want to get to the late age. I've always won before the late age. I just want to see those cards one time in my life in a game. As a caveat, if you want to play a lighter version of this, you have 1960 and Making of a President. And then there's the 4-player version, which we shouldn't talk about, called Divided Republic. It's nowhere near as good. But a 2-player version that's equally good, or not equally good, but shorter, is Campaign Manager 2008.
Okay.
The John McCain Barack Obama election.
That's based on the 1961, which is based on Twilight Struggle.
Correct.
Okay.
The Campaign Manager 2008 is just, a 20-minute, 10-minute, maybe 30-minute game, and it can go really quickly.
Okay.
It's nowhere near in the league of Twilight Struggle. I haven't played 1989 yet, so maybe that's why it's not on my list either, which is one just like that. So number 2 is going to be Twilight Struggle. If you haven't played this game, this is a game you must play. And it was number 1 on the Geek for quite a while.
Yeah, before it got dethroned.
Yeah, it's really good. So give this one a chance. Twilight Struggle. And here is the game that's going to blow your mind.
Oh.
Let it loose, man, because here it comes.
I think that's it's your number 1 too.
It's also my number 1. So you know what? I'm going to defer and give you the honors.
It is The War of the Ring. Come on. Come on.
But mine is the collector's edition.
Doesn't matter.
It matters. That matters.
It does
when
matter.
When you're playing that game, it matters.
If you don't have it or don't have the money...
Sell your car.
Just get Just get the normal one and paint the minis yourself.
Rent out a room in your house for a couple months. Buy the collector's edition.
Do you have second edition or first edition?
I have an upgrade
collector's
kit.
First edition. Okay.
Collector's the first edition. I pre-ordered the second edition, and that has an upgrade kit, so you can play it with.
Yeah. So War of the Ring, it's a 2-player battle game that, if you haven't seen our top 10 list, it's on our top 10 list. Or at least it's on my top 10 list. But this game, you're either the shadow people, the shadow movement, or you're the free peoples, and you're just trying to destroy each other. So the free people are trying to destroy the ring, or hold off the darkness long enough to destroy the ring, or you're the dark shadow player and you're just trying to find the ring to win.
It's got battles, it's got hiding, it's got the march.
So good.
Is it called Mount Doom?
Yeah, the March to Mount Doom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a funny story about this. So we have a mutual friend who I did not know was a huge nerd. But this game draws the nerddom out of you. I was playing with him.
The sweatiness.
I'm not going to name any names, Matthew, but I'm just going to say the boys started talking in Elvish.
Yeah, he knows a little bit. No, he knows a little bit.
It was amazingly awesome.
He knows a little bit.
We bonded over that game, and I have not seen him since.
I asked him, he came to me the next day after he played with you, and he comes to me and he's like, did you know that Jason has the collector's edition of War of the Ring? And I said, yes. He's like, I played it the other night, and it is amazing. It is amazing. I may have spoken in Elvish. I was like, what?
That's great that he told you that.
What?
Because he did. The rule book and everything's in covers in Elvish, and he was like reading it to me. It was amazing.
It's because it's a real language, people. Look it up.
But when I beat him and I threw the ring into the Mount Doom, I literally think I killed him. I have not seen him since that day. I think he died inside. That's been quite a while. I've not seen the man.
His mortal coil was shed.
It was. I think he just died inside. So that's our top 10.
Yep.
We would recommend all of these games to try them out.
For sure.
Especially, I guess, War of the Rings. We both picked it.
And it's the top one.
It's the top one. So that's first time that's ever happened between us.
That is true.
So we will pull that out and play it right now.